Hello, hello. How is it going, everybody? Welcome in to Guitar Hang number 10, I believe. I think I was wrong on the last one with the number at the beginning. Who cares? Who's counting? Me? You? We're all counting. Every day. Ooh. Sounds like we're going out of tune. Ooh. A little bit rough. It's an old guitar. I did just tune it, but sounds like it may have came out of tune in the time that I tuned it. This is my very first guitar that I used, my very first money to buy. Look at the, if you can see it, the rust on those screws there on the neck. That's interesting. It had a big old sticker on it that I kind of ripped off. Locking tuners that I installed. I think this has got to be my most modded guitar. Shout out to my buddy Jake. I think he had like some sort of Strat thing, and I told him that it would be really cool if we switched his Strat covers with my like a Squier Stratocaster type thing. I told him it'd be cool if we switched pickup covers, and then mine didn't really fit. So then I drilled them out. Then I painted them silver, and that wore away. Yeah, pretty crazy. A little bit of corrosion and stuff happening on the bridge there as well. You know, ultimately, not the worst first guitar. Look how thin this thing is. That's kind of been my gripe with it ever since I've kind of got like an actual Strat style guitar. Oh, it does say on the back here, it is an SA-160. That was correct. Yeah. Made in, it says KR04, so I wonder if these are made in Korea. Yeah, interesting to kind of pick this thing up and play it again for a second, a little bit. Look, man, I'm like, I even got some wearing on it. Like, I played this guitar a lot. I kind of wonder if The neck is looking a little rough. Maybe a little bit twisted. I don't know. Yeah, I could definitely use some work. Strings are a little high. Neck is kind of at an interesting angle. Yeah. But my very first band, Momentum, would have been when I kind of got this guitar. I would have been playing it through a Marshall half stack, not like an actual tube amp. One of those valve state Marshalls. I forget what model that one was. I think I bought it from a buddy of mine, and then I ended up giving it back to him because I had it for a long time, and then when I started No Regard, I kind of wanted to get into tube amps, which that was not a tube amp. It was just like an imitation tube amp. I think it was like, I can't remember, valve state, so it was solid state and had a valve in it. I don't know the details on it, but it was kind of a cool half stack. It would be interesting to play through it again. I think I probably maybe had some of my most formative tones through that half stack. I probably would have ran a Metal Zone through that half stack at one point. And then I remember, ooh, man, some real big movement. I remember at some point I decided to go use the actual distortion on that amp. There we go. See what happens. See how long that stays in tune for. I decided to use the distortion on the amp, and then I was using like a Boss overdrive every once in a while to get a little bit more gain out of it. And I had a Boss Chorus pedal at that time. And I remember my buddy who owned it saw me playing it one day, and I had like that stuff plugged in, and I was using the distortion on the amp, and he kind of looked at me like, "You mean to tell me I plugged a Metal Zone into this thing the whole time, and I could have been using the distortion on the amp?" It did actually sound pretty good. It was kind of a cool amp. But yeah, the Momentum guitar. It would be interesting to try to plug it in and play it, but mainly because of how thin this body is, it tends to be, and I think like it makes the way the body resonates and the pickups are, they're very microphonic. So like anytime I really like, one would kind of assume that this would do high gain, but anytime it's put in a high gain situation, it's really hard to get it to not feedback. See, it would have been trying to remember how this goes. Hard. Strings are pretty far away from the fretboard. yeah, would have been a song I was playing on this guitar. And we had a dude singing some songs. He was a really good singer, but he didn't really show up that often, and then bailed on us. And then shortly after, Corbin started having kids, and we all got busy, kind of went our separate ways. The drummer went to Duluth, Minnesota to go to college. But yeah, so I just figured, one of the things I do think that's interesting about this is that without really thinking of it, I mean, it was just kind of I just saw a guitar that I kind of thought was cool, and bought it, and it was cheap. I think I paid maybe $300 for it, maybe like $250, probably like $250. You know, and it took me a while to save that up. I did it all on my own. I was working at Cub at the time, and I was really into Korn, so I wanted an Ibanez. I didn't want to do a 7-string at that time. I don't think, really, when I bought this, I don't think 7 strings were widely available at that time yet. But now that I look at it, it looks awfully lot like a Strat setup, kind of like an HSS Strat. And then, when I kind of thought about it, and I recorded the whole entire No Regard album on a Strat, which is just kind of like the better version of this. So it was kind of weird to kind of go full circle and end up back at a Strat. I've kind of moved on to a Telecaster currently, as you guys have seen in past episodes. But yeah, interesting guitar. I might plug it back in just for the heck of it to see what happens, see if I can get anything out of it, maybe an interesting song. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this week. I hope you liked checking out the very first guitar I bought. Honestly, you can get a lot better these days for the same price. Not that this is terrible, but the quality in the Squier stuff and some of the low-end Ibanez stuff, even a lot of the companies, yeah, good stuff. All right, have a wonderful week. Like this video if you would be so kind. Subscribe, please. That'd be awesome. And until then, rock on, peace and love. Treat each other with respect and humility. Have a good time. Peace. Thanks.